But yeah, from endorsements, we had Coca-Cola endorsement for Baboon Forest, as in would be paid whether we're on stage or not. We had, I had MTN, Monji had Airtel, Trill, we were lining up Orange for him. We wanted everybody to like eat.
Yeah.
Yeah, but we had done that over and over, like for 6 years.
And you felt like, okay,
And
what's
you feel like,
next?
okay, what's next? Yeah. And then also health-wise, we were drinking every day. But now I feel much more healthier. Instead of ordering for beer, I'm ordering green tea.
I
So
know.
the health choices are also different.
Okay.
We need to take care of ourselves as
Do you feel
as
like
musicians.
you needed to be separate from that environment for you to be able to make some of these changes? Because even talking
Yeah.
about the fact that you're seeing a therapist, I
Yes.
mean, that only started when you left.
Yes. Oh, yeah. All of that started when I left. When you look at like I told you about being so close to the picture, too close to the canvas, you can't see the bigger
You can't
picture.
See, yes.
Yes, we used to go. I used to go to the U.S. I was going to the U.S. since 2011.
Okay.
So I would always go perform for the diaspora community, come back.
Okay.
Go to London, perform diaspora community, come back. Go Dubai or Sweden or somewhere South Africa, come back. But you never really experience a country until you're in it. And whenever we used to go, Gabagamba, asigala wokole ne shendala, and we used to be like, wow, I'm coming back to Kampala. Because you're thinking about your friends, you're thinking about how nice the beer in Uganda is when you're around people that love you. Conversations in the US is very, very different. Everything is a schedule. Everything is, you're mapping out your 10 years ahead, your 5 years, your 1 year. People make all those plans. Whereas in Uganda, I always had a vision, but I had a vision for the company. I didn't have a vision for Zamba. I always had a vision for hip hop, a vision for Baboon Forest. It's when I went to the US and stayed with my wife but then she was still my girlfriend. But we began meeting people who are in Hollywood, and they began asking me about what I could do for my company, do for myself, that I began thinking about me. I was thinking more about other people and thinking about myself. Then I realized that I need to start working on starting a family, start working on taking care of myself health-wise, and saving for my retirement too.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I could have done both back and forth, but it required me learning more by staying longer in another place. There's a story that I usually use of Jesus. Jesus, Shakespeare, Gandhi. Jesus left Jerusalem when he was 15. When he went to Egypt, he spent over 15 years over there. He came back when he was 30. 15 years is a long time. I've only been away for 4.5. But he learned a lot.
Yeah.
And most people think Jesus only went to mystery, but if you read deeper, you might find that Jesus might have gone to India. The Bible doesn't say that, but so many things the Bible doesn't mention. But you learn a lot through traveling and seeing other societies and how they operate.
Yes.
And then you come back and you can educate other people, you can share with other people, and exchange, and you can grow together. Jesus came back with so many brilliant ideas about leadership, about preaching to other people, about transforming the church of Judaism. I hope that I can try to transform the music industry through my own way too, and also be more impactful to Uganda as a society. From what I know of what I've learned, I hope that I can be of use to so many other storytellers who are still struggling, and we can push each other forward. But it required understanding every area of film, from the grip to lighting to acting to directing to writing. All of that takes a lot of time. It came to understanding how to organize events. You have to go see how people are doing Burning Man. You have to go see how people are putting on Art Basel. You have to go see, like, all these other things are the very complicated machines that you have to understand. You have to first understand the animal before you can begin riding it. Yeah, it took a lot of time, but now I believe I can juxtapose the two societies, whereas before I was only used to the Ugandan society. Right now I can see both societies and see how I can contribute or play better.
Okay.
Yeah.
Was it a challenge though? Because leaving Uganda, here you're established, here you're well known.
Yes.
And then you go to LA and it's like you're starting afresh. For many people, that is
the
the scariest thing.
It's very scary, but I'm always encouraged to do things that scare me.
Okay.
The things that scares you the most is what you should do. For many people, they are scared of losing their celebrity status. I'm not scared of losing that at all because I know I want something bigger. And if I were to compare the GNL that was in Uganda with GNL right now, sorry for speaking about myself in third person, but yeah, so the GNL of back then and the GNL right now are totally two different people. And I'm glad I let the other GNL die so a new seed could germinate.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And it's the same seed, but now this seed can even give you more fruit. A seed has to first die. You bury it underground, it dies, it rots, and it gives you a very big tree. You get me? When it grows up. And you can disperse a whole garden and start a whole forest. But so many people, death scares us. It's a very rigor mortis. Rigor mortis says everybody is scared of that moment of death. But if you also think about that in terms of career, it's a very good thing. I look at you too, like your radio career, your whatever career. Sometimes you have to let some things
go.
That you can still do radio, you can still do so many other things. But now look at Crystal, your Crystal and your Ugandan treasure. Yeah, it takes that sacrifice. You must be willing to test the depth of a river with both feet.
Was it harder than you thought it would be?
It is hard. It is really hard.
So what are you doing like now? Because you've come and down and everything.
Yeah.
We know you had a project this year, you and your wife. But what are you doing, I guess, when you're over there?
I'm doing everything that makes me happy. I'm doing everything that makes me happy.
Okay.
Every decision is guided by my happiness now. If it doesn't make me happy, I'm not going to do it. Like, if it's an interview and I don't think it's going to add on to my happiness, I've always been a fan of Crystal. If it wasn't, I've turned down several interviews, but I wanted to talk to Crystal, you know. It's
Well,
part
thank
of
you.
my happiness. Everything I do is guided by a decision to be happy.
Okay.
The aspiration for self-actualization is what guides. And so all the projects that I'm doing from Nsimbi, Nsimbi is about spreading positive energy in our society, where I see that there's more hating on each other rather than seeing the value in each other. We hope that we can encourage people to dwell with lines of tribalism, classism, and racism. Like, my wife is from a very different background. I'm from a very different background. But whenever we perform in other parts of the world, people are encouraged by seeing how well we work together in everyone's different culture and everybody's different background. And it's a beautiful picture to see. In so many parts of the world, you find New York, you find Puerto Ricans with Arabs. You find Muyindi man, and Eskimo, some things that you don't really see, you know, like people very far apart. That's what societies are going to look like in the future. So how do we do that without repeating what happened in Rwanda? You have to spread love, understanding that the other person is a human being, you all bleed, and that appealing to the human spirit takes a musician and an artist to translate that. So most of the projects that I do are about bringing people together. And I do events right now in Los Angeles. We name them Swahili Nation. And Swahili Nation is about bringing people from the whole coast of East Africa. Like, when you're in metropoli, like New York, Toronto, London, West Africa is well represented. You see, they'll tell you about Fela Kuti, they'll tell you about, even South Africa, they'll tell you about Huma Sekela, Miriam Makeba. They'll tell you about all these legends, and then tell you about the Dibanjis, they'll tell you about the... And then you an afterthought. East Africa,
East Africa, like,
no, after filling two pages, hey, but there's also that other place there in the East. There is East Africa too. So what I'm doing, most of the projects that I'm doing, whether through film or through music and events, all of those things are geared towards promoting East African culture to the world, or presenting it to the world, and also telling our own stories, but stories that also portray us in a very positive picture. I don't want poverty porn. That every time you come to Uganda or Lagabuvera or Lagabichi, yes, that's part of the story. It's not the whole story.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's so many projects that I'm working on that I can't speak on right now.
Okay.
But that could give you a glimpse on some of the projects that I'm doing. And I'm still performing.
Because you said you wanted to
Nsimbi has been on tour.
Yes.
Sorry
yes,
for cutting you. Yeah, Nsimbi has been on tour. We're performing from festivals. We did South by Southwest. We've done Smithsonian Museum. We've been invited to do that. The ones in DC and other places. We are planning an Africa tour. And yes, even as I'm speaking right now, we're doing research for a certain project.
Okay.
I can't tell you about it.
We'll have to wait to hear.
You have to wait to hear it, yes. And yeah, we've represented Uganda. I'm really proud of the work that we are doing. Now they can listen to Luganda, but not just Luganda because it's a by the way in a movie, but because there's a language that they need to get acclimatized to. There's a people that I represent that are the pearl of Africa.
Talked about like you really have to understand what goes into it, and then you also do events as well.
Yes.
Are you in front of the camera or just behind the camera?
Both.
Both?
But you'll find that most people watching will find that it pays more to be behind the camera. I love being in front of the camera. Matter of fact, when I first went to the US, I was lucky that most of the auditions I was doing, I was getting the roles, and my accent didn't change. I refused to change my accent. Sometimes I went for auditions and they said, but you sound more African. I'm like, I'm really African. So what do you mean? Yeah.
Maybe they used to like heavy West African
like
accent.
Because the whole thing of seeing us as a monolith, we are just one thing. It's Africa.
Yeah.
So you're either sounding West African or you're not African. They don't forget the people in South Africa speak well. The clicking.
Very different. Yeah.
In Uganda, we accentuate our syllables, you know. Yeah, and yeah, they're like, speak more African. I'm like, yeah, this is the African, you know. But yes, I still got the role. I enjoy being in front of the camera, but it pays better and it's more rewarding. You have more control when you're controlling the whole set.
Okay.
Like, no, I want that. No, I don't want that. No, that doesn't tell us. That's not that character's story. You have more control behind, and the rewards are bigger. Yeah, but I'm in front and also behind.
Okay. And what about your art? I mean, you've told me about the events.
Yes. Oh yeah. I perform at my events. I perform at my events. In fact, everybody comes to the events, and we perform together. We do collaborations together. Not only microphone, like I'm singing, but even artists who draw, we curate.
Yes.
I curate other people's.
Because I remember you being very passionate about
Yes. But I haven't drawn yet. I've taken a very long time without drawing. One of the facts, I think my drawings suck right now. It might be a self-confidence thing that I might need to get in a little bit later. But I curate other people's works.
Okay.
And I want to work with artists in Uganda, the visual painters in Uganda. So we can put something together, present it in Los Angeles. I want to put artists that sing. So we can put something together that represents where we're from, present it in New York or some other place when we're packaged, you know. Yeah, I want to do that. I want to do more of that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Now you said like when you left, you started asking yourself a lot of questions about, you know, who you need to be, planning for the future, being a family man as well.
Yes.
And then you got married a year ago. A year ago, after 7 years.
Yes.
Okay. Did you feel at some point, as a couple, you're like, okay, this is the right time now? Before, was it not the right time?
Yeah. For us, it was just a given. It was like meant to happen because we had been together for so long. So our families were beginning to be like, "Are you guys gonna get
They were asking?
married?" You know, So we're like, okay, we're going to do it. And we wanted to do it when it was right, when it was the right time, when we were sure we really wanted to be with each other. when we really understood what makes the other person happy or sad. We're big on happiness, which we communicate a lot. And also we want to see each other achieve the big, everyone achieve the greatest version of themselves. If my wife wants to be on stage, hey, I'll help you do whatever you want to be on stage. If my wife wants to design jewelry, hey, I'll help you do whatever you want to do. If Zamba wants to shoot a picture and make it happen, and he tell his story that way, she's going to help me make that happen.
That's a beautiful thing.
Yes,
beautiful thing.
Very beautiful. If she wants, she's passionate about African culture. She really, she keeps on telling me, for me, I'm an Acholi, I'm Nilotic. I was like, why? You should be a Muganda, of Buganda. I'm giving a name Namirembe. She's like, I think I like the people in the north a little better. I like the Marakwang. I like the, you know, so with us getting married was more. It had to happen. It had to happen. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So you talked about, like, you know, you're happy about the fact that the old GNL.
Yes.
You let go of that person.
Yes.
You're this new person.
Oh, the old person, as in the old Zamba?
Yes, the old Zamba.
I don't think he's dead. He's just
not
refined.
Dead, but like there's certain traits that you let go.
Oh yes. Part of me had to be refined.
Yes.
Refined mentally, and also here, through the heart and also through the mental. And yes, I talked about seeing a therapist, and it's a very good thing. I didn't realize I was bipolar.
Oh.
Like totally bipolar.
Really?
Yes, I'm very bipolar.
Because they say a lot of people
It
are.
says a lot. I didn't know because I used to get off stage, and once you get off stage, everybody is on a high. They want to go to a bar. I just want to be left alone and go to a quiet place so I can sip tea and have a conversation with either one person or nobody at all. I just want to keep my own space. But that's hard to explain to people, you know. But I saw somebody that helped me deal with so many of those things. And even in my personal relationships, you know, I have more compassion. I'm a compassionate person because I have compassion for myself. Whereas before I never had compassion for myself, but felt compassion for other people. So all these other factors, there are so many tendrils that or so many tributaries that make the person that you see, right, this river called Zamba. There are so many tributaries that make this person. But I hope we can make it to an ocean. You know, I hope we can make it to an ocean.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for sharing.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for sharing. And yeah, I mean, like you said, you have to do things that scare you.
You have to do things that scare you. You have to. You have to do things that scare you, first of all. Scare you the most. Not even just scare you.
Scare you the most.
Scare you the most. You have to do the things that scare you the most. There is growth there. Do not be scared. It's beautiful on the other side. It's very beautiful on the other side. Yeah.
And I mean, you had such a huge influence on the hip hop industry here in Uganda.
Yeah.
And I think, like, coming back now, you're looking and you've seen a lot of growth.
Oh yes, yes.
But how do you think we're doing?
How do you think the hip hop industry is doing?
How do you think we're doing?
To be honest, the content is missing. The content is not as deep.
Okay.
But it's a very subjective thing too, to ask somebody. Some people don't like depth. Some people like depth. So it's a personal thing. But in terms of, there's so many people, there's so many talented people, so many talented kids that I'm meeting.
Okay.
Not only kids, but also the grown people. And you have more diversity, you know?
Who are you feeling right now? Who are you feeling at the moment?
Oh, wow. So there's this kid. They say he sounds like me, but I think it's because we all come from the same school of creativity.
Okay.
I like Jim Nola. I like listening to Jim Nola.
Okay.
Because he challenges himself to create punchlines, you know? I need to talk to his management about his branding because he needs to shine. Fefe Busi is doing his thing. He's really doing his thing. Fefe Busi, we need him more as a rapper he goes the other side as well. But I understand playing both sides, same thing. But you can see that he has the basics, and he can represent. Big Trio. I'm really proud of Big Trio.
Yeah.
Not only because it's Baboon Forest forever, but because when I signed Big Trio, everybody didn't see the viability in bringing on a person rapping in English. But I wanted Uganda to experience like also a person who can explain Uganda through Luzungu, that everybody can understand. So yeah, Trill is doing his thing, and #1 song in Africa.
Party after party.
Yeah, party after party. Birthday party, over corporate party, over whatever party that you're talking about, the boy is partying all over.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I hope it becomes an international party too. It's already international, but I hope it goes to like all other continents and blankets the whole thing.
Yes. So that's taking over Africa.
Yes.
Now we need to see it hitting like Europe and
exactly, and it will. And most of the songs that hit in the US, towards that the London crowd is always up on Afrobeat, and then the US is late there like, hey. They're like, whoa, there's this thing called yeah. You're like, what? That song is old. They're like,
where have you been?
But yeah, now we're bumping to it. But the US dictates mainstream in most places. And once it hits the US, Japan is covered, Europe is covered. London also keeps its own thing, and they have something bubbling from under. Yeah, so that's how I'm looking at it. And I see so many things happening, like in the industry. Hip hop has the power to transform this country. Yeah. I see no other. I'm going to speak arrogantly, but I see only hip hop with the power to change this country.
Okay.
Yes, even with other people doing other genres, I see the hip hop in them. You get me? I see the hip hop in them. The power of the youth has to be harnessed through hip hop. And I see hip hop transforming this country spiritually, transforming this country financially through doing projects. And I see also we need a hip hop building, which is just a tower where we control the rest of the activities in the world.
Okay.
There's a vision. We want a hip hop city. However, to where we Nakasongola to Zimbabwe, like around Nakasongola, around Lake Choga, that we just have a hip hop city, spaceships, runways, We need to do that.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for coming on this.
We want spaceships, runways to be able to have, and all our animals, the hippos, they also need to be preserved. But then we need to have our runways over there. All the swag, we need to take it over there. And once you fly in, it's like breaking that seal of Wakanda, and you're home.
All right.
Yeah.
Big dreams.
Yeah, man.
We'll say. But it's so nice to see you.
Very nice.
Really have to say. And I'm happy that you said you're doing things that make you happy.
Yes.
Yes. It's very important to get to that point in life where you can actually start to make those kind of decisions. So yeah, we'll just keep watching and waiting for these projects.
Yes. Thank you so much. It's a pleasure talking to you.
Pleasure.
I've always been a fan.
Thank you.
And yeah, one man can change the world. That's what I need to tell everybody. So even if it's not you, encourage somebody else to be that man. A candle loses nothing by lighting another candle. Be somebody's candle. And we can build. Let's build this country. Let's build this continent. And yeah, be good to each other. Show love. And only do things that make you happy. If it doesn't make you happy, if the decision makes only the other person happy, chite. Yeah.
All right then.